Well. We've come back. We didn't really leave. It's been a week. But last episode we had good fight. This was a really good fight. This was also a pretty good fight. This was not a terrible fight.
A mediocre fight.
And this overall, pretty good fight.
Pretty good episode, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely not bad.
Now let's prepare for hopefully another very good episode. In this episode, we're going to have Pizza Time versus Mammoth, El Dominador versus Silver Star, Lolo Man versus the Big Breaker Box, Ice Wave hoping to go 3-0 against Ramplan, Behemoth taking on Snowblind, Bong against Death by the Hit, and in the main event, two incredibly hard-hitting robots, Cyclone and Ocean Man. Ocean Man hoping to bounce back from that incredible upset we had a few weeks back. But let's get into the first fight tonight. Pizza Time Mammoth, I'm sorry.
That's fine. Looking at Mammoth, their weapon didn't work in their last match, and in the end, that might have been what doomed them in that one. Because they could have definitely beaten Bong, but without that weapon, they couldn't do much. Hopefully they can recover here. We have not even seen Pizza Time this season. This is the first non-highlighted fight.
Pizza Time has been pretty boring this year.
They're boring, but they're 2-0. But also, their wins, because they're highlighted, that means they weren't very high quality, and that's why we didn't show them to you. Of course, if you get a win, you're 3-0, you're probably in the tournament. But we really have to see something. It's been an unchanged design for years. It's one of the old, grizzled veterans of the channel. See if they can pick up a win here against the big boy that is Mammoth.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see how that clamper will work against that spinner of Mammoth. And without further ado, let's get right into the box for this fight.
Should be a pretty interesting one.
And Mammoth weapon actually working. That's crazy. Spinning around though.
First time it's been working since that episode 2 main event win over, I believe it was Huge, and now we're seeing if it can maybe hoist up and get some decent lifts, and they got one! They have scooped up the pizza and dropped the pizza and scooped it up.
That's a lot of torque in that weapon, and already just swinging it around the box.
And drop down, here comes the pizza, back up, flipped around, and they're stuck on their back.
What an incredible sequence from Mammoth, and if they leave them there, this is a win.
Mammoth, that was no hesitation. They went into this match, and they absolutely did what they needed to do. Textbook win there. Great performance from Mammoth. That lifter, really solid. I'm really impressed with how it did there.
Yeah, I was definitely interested to see how that, grappler would work against that spinner on Mammoth, and it just kind of played out perfectly for Mammoth. Like, they were just able to grab onto it from under it pretty easily, use that incredible torque of that weapon, and just kind of carry around Pizza Time for the easy win. What an impressive win from this bot.
A very impressive showing. This is another robot where this was very susceptible, kind of a design we weren't really sure what to expect from it, but right now they're 2-1, and they definitely look like a very capable robot. Really excited to see how they continue on. This match is a match of two of the oldest bots on the channel. El Dominador was in the first ever video on the channel, still here, nothing's changed, against Silver Star, who was the first robot made. Of course, they've had changes, but El Dominador, they've been here a long time.
Both of these robots have a very different history. I mean, El Dominador, pretty the same. I mean, they've been the same for years at this point. Just a classic wedge bot. Going up against a bot like Silver Star, just an out-of-control horizontal spinner. I mean, they're 0-2. They need this win to stay in the competition. They're just not... They're just not the best robot.
I really just want to see Silver Star show some kind of semblance of something. Just show me something, please. I've been supporting this robot for a long time, but in the end, it's just not really been able to come together for a real decent run. Hopefully, they're able to maybe pick up a victory here, but they gotta hope that reliability is better. Matchup of these two veterans. They've been through this channel through the thick and the thin and the moderately thick and the moderately thin, and both of them engaging already Some good hits there by Silver Star.
Yeah, some solid shots. I mean, they just really need that weapon to stay on and be reliable. And already, I mean, this is better than we've seen them in some fights.
Yeah, we've already seen some pretty good pops, and already these two robots, they look pretty solid so far, landing a few pretty good engagements between both of them. That little lance, of course, trivia, do you know where that lance is? If you are right in the comments, then I don't know, maybe you'll get a cookie or something. But right now, both, a good spin around there, and it looks like a little bit of damage on the top of El Dominador maybe, but there's some good shots here by Silver Star.
Yeah, definitely. If they can keep that weapon on, they're really dishing out some damage onto the sides of El Dominador. Some good pops, but it seems to be off for now.
Oh, but they're starting back up. This is definitely the best we have seen Silver Star this season, but they still have to look out because right now, I would say that El Dominador is still in this match. They've been able to deflect a few shots. Definitely a close one between these two veterans. And,
ooh, a huge throw across the arena.
And another one.
This is the best we've ever seen Silver Star.
Silver Star looking really, really solid so far. And El Dominador has also looked pretty decent. Oh, shot
throw into the wall.
For these robots, both being pretty old, pretty experienced ones, they definitely are putting it all on the table and putting a great matchup. And oh, that was almost a perfect move by El Dominador. Almost got Silver Star in the pit, but Silver Star survives.
Ooh, over by that pit. They want to get away from there.
They have to look out for that pit, but right now Silver Star looking for some more engagement, looking to land another nice, solid shot onto El Dominador. There was a good shot. El Dominador, look out!
There was their chance, and they missed it, but that's okay.
They managed to pick up a win! I'm so happy for them.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Silver Star. I mean,
that was a pretty impressive win.
That was actually a very good win, I have to say. They really looked solid. That weapon operated perfectly in that match, and they looked really solid. Their drive wasn't as bad as it normally is. They seemed pretty coordinated.
Yeah, I mean, they didn't drive amazingly, but they drove what they needed to do. They executed their game plan. They threw El Dominador into the wall multiple times. Just some incredible hits there. They definitely drove into the wall themselves sometimes, but they were able to just kind of camp by that pit. El Dominador goes for the engagement, just a minor miscalculation there, and Silver Star actually won a fight.
Yeah, that was a very good performance for them. Great to see them able to pick up a win there. Now we're going to Lolo Man, and I mean, we're kind of running out of stuff to say about the robot. It's decent.
It's low.
Yeah, we can't really say much about it. It's low.
It's kind of boring. It wins fights.
It wins.
It's 1-1.
It's one of those robots that's like Snowblind, where it's really good at what it does, but it doesn't really do a whole lot in regards to damage. But in the end, if it works, it works. And it's going to be interesting to see how they fare against Breaker Box, who is on the brink of elimination at 0-2. They really got to pick something up here.
Yeah, definitely. Breaker Box really needs to pick up the pace. I mean, in order to win this fight against Lolo Man, they need to drive well, obviously. They do have the weapon advantage, but they need to keep it low to the ground, basically scraping the ground, because obviously Lolo Man has that hinged wedge. It's going to be interesting to see how they try and counter it, but they really need this win in order to stay in.
Yeah, this is going to be a really tough matchup for them because, of course, two low robots fighting. Let's see who gets this win. The matchup underway, and already a good start by Breaker Box, getting under that low front. That's not fully what I was expecting, but that's a good start for them.
Yeah, definitely what you want if you're Breaker Box, but you want to keep that wedge low. They seem to have lifted it, and they're having trouble adjusting it back into that neutral position.
And right now we're seeing that lowness of Lolo Man. It's low, it's really effective with that lowness, and it can kind of pick you up and drive you around. It's a really simple design, but it's clever and it works. And right now, I think Breaker Box is feeling that right now after that strong start.
Yeah, definitely Breaker Box feeling the pain of Lolo Man. Oh, but a nice push there. Oh. They're over by the pit. This is exactly where you want them if you're Breaker Box. Can Breaker Box capitalize?
But they're nowhere near them, and they can't manage to position them at all, and looks like Lolo Man trying to position themselves, and
that's got to be heartbreaking.
That's a heartbreaking loss there, Breaker Box, out of the competition at 0-3. They had their moment, they had a lined up shot, but in the end, miscalculation, missed opportunity, and it's just another season where you got to think, what could have been for this little 350 lifter theme.
350?
360.
You're an idiot. But yeah, definitely, Breaker Box had its advantage here. I mean, they had the opportunity. They were not able to capitalize. Just some driving mistakes. just some stupid little mistakes, and that's just got to be a heartbreaking loss. Hopefully, eventually in the future, if they get to another competition, they can turn it around.
Definitely. Getting to another one, pretty surprising to see Ramplan at 0-2. Last season, they took the competition by storm, looked like one of the better rookies last season. In their sophomore season, it's not come together.
Yeah, definitely not gone their way so far this year.
They need to be able to find some openings, use that little lifter, but against Ice Wave, maybe this is the fight where they're able to take advantage. And Ice Wave, I don't really think we expected them to be 2-0 because we said they have drive issues, they have weapon issues, but they're where they are right now, and another win, they're going to be in.
Yeah, definitely. On the other side of the spectrum from Ramplan, we expected Ramplan to be doing much better. I don't think anyone expected Ice Wave at 2-0. They've looked pretty solid. I mean, their drive isn't the best, their weapon isn't the best, but they've been able to string together wins, which is all that really matters. If they win here tonight, they're basically a lock for the tournament.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much well explains it, so you can take this one. Might be somewhat strange to see a undefeated robot against a defeated robot, but in the end, that's what we got here. Ramplan really looking to get their first win and stay alive right now. They definitely seem like the lower robot, and they are definitely taking advantage of that not super low front of Ice Wave.
Yeah, definitely. Ice Wave not really able to even hit anything on Ramplan, just kind of being scooped up. But they do have that low wedge. If they can kind of engage with that instead of with the weapon, is that weapon down?
It seems like that weapon might be having issues. That weapon hits pretty high up on other robots, but right now it doesn't seem to be working, but they are getting some good rams in with that wedge.
Yeah, definitely a nice pin over here in the corner. They can't keep them pinned for too long, but this is a good show of control right now for Ice Wave, especially if that weapon is down. They're definitely going to need that.
Yeah, Ice Wave, they've done a pretty good job getting control, but it seems like both the robots a little bit stuck, and they were separated. Even though they were a little bit jammed, didn't really realize that, but in the end, it seems like Ramplan having issues in that corner. Seems like maybe they have a few issues with that drive, getting it suited, but maybe now they'll be able to get free. Not exactly. A pretty slow fight for both of these ones so far, to be honest. Neither one really that impressive.
Yeah, definitely a slow start. Ramplan has been able to scoop up Ice Wave a few times with that really low front and just kind of get under him, bully him around. Ice Wave with that weapon down, they really need to make up some points quick.
Definitely, but there's a nice little backhand there by Ramplan. Ramplan, in the end, they haven't done a whole lot this fight, but I'd say it's pretty hard to say that they're not on top here. Ice Wave, they've gotten a few good pushes, though, and they're definitely still in this match, but in the end, losing that primary weapon is not a good look for them, and if this goes to a decision, which it feels like it's kind of heading that way, I don't think that Ice Wave is going to be in a position to win, but
but hanging over the pit. Ramplan not able to capitalize. But back there's their opportunity again, and they are not going to be able to get down from there.
That's a pretty tricky spot to be in, and Ramplan, they know they've won. Now they're just taunting Ice Wave, making them feel embarrassed, and now pushing them a little bit. Ramplan is going to survive. They had a little bit of a scare, but in the end, they got the victory, and they're still in this competition. It's still definitely a threat if they can perform like this in the future.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both of these robots didn't look very good in this fight. Ice Wave's weapon broke down pretty quickly. Ramplan getting the win, staying alive in the tournament, which is all they could have really asked for in this fight, but they're going to need to impress in their next fight if they want to make that tournament.
Definitely. I think they're really going to have to pull off something convincing in their next match if they really want to have a chance. Of course, there is that end of the year tournament that they could end up getting a spot in if they fall short, but in the end, that's where you need to start, a good building block for the rest of their season.
Then next up, we're going to have Behemoth versus Snowblind, a classic here in Robot Chaos.
A classic matchup. These two robots have fought many times. From what I remember, I believe the record between them is split, and they've both met multiple times in the big stages, in those semi-final, quarterfinal matches to move on in the tournaments. Behemoth, two-time champ, Snowblind, one-time champ. This should be a fun one between these two.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, both of these robots are legends within the sport. Snowblind has just, been very dominant. They haven't won as many championships as Behemoth, but we've never seen a robot this consistent. Both of these robots rely on the ground game. Snowblind able to kind of have a bit of an advantage because it just stays planted to the ground, but they need to be perfect here against Behemoth. Both of these robots are 2-0. And so someone is going home with their first loss of the season.
Definitely. Hopefully this is a pretty fun matchup between these two. Of course, two veterans looking out hopefully to settle some old scores. Let's see which robot can advance to 3-0 and lock up a spot in that tournament.
Robo fight.
And here we go. As we can see, that low front of Snowblind. It's annoying. Everyone hates it, but it's effective. And ooh, a good little spring there by Behemoth, but already back. Getting another good push is Snowblind back near that corner by the screws.
Yeah, Snowblind gives its opponents no space, and it seems like Behemoth stuck up on his back.
Uh-oh.
That is not where you want to be, and the countdown has started.
No.
Is it going to be that fast?
No hesitation by Snowblind. This fight already is over. 3-0 for Snowblind. It's pretty dang boring, but dang, that is one effective little robot. They've had some weaker showings earlier on. Of course, they had that performance against Ripper that wasn't as convincing, but in the end, they got the win here. Behemoth getting the first loss of the season.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm just impressed by Snowblind's ability to kind of just keep on their opponent. They give them very little space to get squared up, which I think is very impressive. Good driving, solid robot, 3-0 Snowblind. We're used to seeing it at this point.
Oh no! A highlighted fight! Woe is me. Bong taking on Death by the Hit. In the end, Bong was not able to get the low ground, and Death by the Hit, using that small spinner, was able to effectively control the ground game and managed to get some pretty effective pushes onto Bong. With that pit open, it was a matter of time until Bong was able to fall in, and Death by the Hit improved to 2-1. Enough of that poopy, bad, annoying, highlighted fight. Big boy main event. Cyclone 2-0. They look like a threat this season, the most promising they have been in a long time.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 2-0 is one of the best starts they've had. They had that run all the way to the championship in Season 1, not able to close it out. They look like they have some unfinished business here. I mean, they've looked really aggressive. I've just been very impressed by them, but they have a huge task tonight, taking on a reeling Ocean Man coming off that loss.
Definitely. Ocean Man, unfamiliar territory. They're 1-1 right now. After that loss by the hands of Loki, they have some ground to make up here, and they have switched back to their main devastating plastic disc, swapping out from the titanium one. They're definitely going to have to put up a real tough fight, because Cyclone, this is the best they've looked in a long time, and Ocean Man's got to be on their heels for this one. Really got to land those shots, do a bit of damage where they can. This should be a barn burner.
Yeah, I mean, Ocean Man did some experimenting early in the season with that titanium blade. It just didn't seem to be delivering the bite that they wanted. Now that they have that spinner that they went all the way to the championship and completed that perfect season with, they hope to get back to their old, just huge hitting ways. So let's see if they can do that here against Cyclone tonight.
And the fight has kicked off. Both of the robots ready for what should be a pretty intense match. Both of these robots have fought before, but it was Ocean Man who took the win that time. See if Cyclone can settle the score here. Both of them trying to land some nice shots. Cyclone trying to spin around a few minor engagements. Ooh, there's a bigger one.
Yeah, just some few little shots. Both of these robots kind of feeling each other out. Cyclone's weapon is a little bit high up to hit really anything substantial other than that weapon on Ocean Man. Had a huge shot over there by the wall.
They took a tumble, almost flipping, but in the end, Cyclone's still here, and they are still ready to do a bit of damage. That spinner's still spinning up. A few smaller engagements, both robots really going right at each other so far.
Yeah, nice little glancing blow on that weapon assembly. And kind of trying to spin around and hit the side of that weapon. They really want to break that disc on Ocean Man. That's just so devastating.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to land that shot. Cyclone, of course, their spinner did break in their last match, but so far it's looking pretty poised, trying to land some more big shots, and there's another one. And it looks like that axle on the spinner of Ocean Man could be getting a little bit loose. If they could keep landing shots, that could be trouble. There's another big shot here.
Nice throw there from Cyclone. Both of these robots pretty even so far.
Both of them really, you can definitely tell this is a tense matchup. Both robots really want this win, and that was a nice big collision, and they're really fighting hard for this one. Both of them really working for this victory.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Cyclone just looks so aggressive. I mean, they've been driving great this season. That weapon is down. I don't know if they just powered it down for a second or if something has gone wrong.
It looks like that hit. Ocean Man landed a pretty decent shot on that spinner. It looks like that could have done the damage, and that spinner, they tried to spin it back up a look, but that spinner is down, and that is huge huge for Ocean Man. They managed to incapacitate probably one of the biggest weapons in the field, and now they are ready to try to go to town, do the damage with their disc now.
Yeah, both robots need to be careful by that pit. We're seeing that second camera angle. Good driving by Cyclone, kind of a bait and switch. Almost went in the pit themselves, but kind of tried to get Ocean Man over by that pit to drive in themselves. They're kind of on the back foot now with lacking that weapon. They don't really have the wedge to push Ocean Man around.
It's definitely a really tight one right now. Ocean Man, it's at the point where they really have to be careful. They could win this off of that damage because they were able to take out that disc, but right now they have to watch out because Cyclone trying to use that pit to their advantage to try to lure Ocean Man in and get the win. Can they do it?
It's going to be tight. I mean, both of these robots are having pretty good seasons. Ocean Man has just been so much more agile. Almost
no! They were over the edge, and Cyclone saw an opportunity to try to push them in on the edge of defeat. Ocean Man backs away, and they get a win. That was a really tense match. Both robots really on their heels, but in the end, that was a solid showing there for Ocean Man.
Yeah, I mean, that match could have been a championship match with the way these bots were driving. They were driving so hard, so fast. They really wanted this win, both of them, and Ocean Man comes away with it. Now both robots are 2-1, still looking very good to get in the tournament. I mean, just a heartbreaking loss for Cyclone. They lost that weapon, but man, they fought hard.
They fought really hard, and even then, that is definitely a pretty good loss for them going on their resume. That's the end of today's episode, but it's time we must honor the fallen. Only one robot fell this episode, and that robot, of course, was Breaker Box. No longer in the field. They showed some flashes, but in the end, they just could not withstand some of these collisions. And in the end, 0-3, you're out.
Congratulations, you're getting sold.
Maybe. We'll see if it gets sold or not. But of course, 3/4 of the way through the season, power rankings, similar bots up at the top, Blip, Snowblind, making it up. Only 4 robots still with undefeated resumes, but a lot of other robots looking to possibly try to knock them down.
Yeah, Blip being at number 3 right now is, kind of impressive to me. They definitely haven't looked the most amazing, but they've won the fights, and that's all that really matters. Snowblind kind of falling out of that top 3, Cyclone falling out of that top 3, but, we have loads more season ahead of us. Thank you all for watching. We will catch you all next week for more incredible fights here on Robot Chaos.
See you then.